You know that feeling when life's been a little too much lately? When things pile up and suddenly even the fun things start to feel like pressure? I've been there, and today I just wanted to give myself a moment. A small space where the world quiets down a bit. So I made some tea, pulled out a few old plague marines I've been saving for just this kind of evening. And I let myself paint, just for the sake of it. This isn't a tutorial, it's not a showcase, it's a practice of slowing down, of returning to the self, through something small and quiet. I used 4 different sprays to prime these. Warm tones, cold tones, uneven coverage. Some might say it's messy, I say it's honest. In a world where everything is filtered, scripted and clean, painting like this reminds me what it feels like to let go. It's play, it's practice, it's also resistance to perfectionism, to the pressure to perform, to the myth that productivity defines worth. The act of applying paint to a surface grounds me. It brings me back to the present, which is especially important when, as in our hectic and overwhelming world, it's all too easy to lose focus and drift through the day. I've come to see painting not just as a hobby or a job, but as a form of stillness, a way to meet chaos, not with resistance, but with rhythm. Each color carries its own power. By truly engaging with color, we allow it to move us, to heal parts of ourselves we might only sense faintly. Carl Jung spoke of the deep language of symbols and colors in the human psyche, how they connect us to something beyond words, beyond logic. When you create something without a goal, you give yourself space to just be. That's a rare thing. I think one of the reasons miniature painting feels so healing is that deep inside we crave these moments of stillness. What could be more meditative than focusing completely on a beautifully crafted miniature, letting the mind quiet and simply be? Colors can mean many things. They can express deep spiritual significance in traditional cosmic esoteric contexts, or serve as an act of rebellion against a world growing increasingly grey and dull. I remember as a kid being captivated by the colors of certain armies, those glimpses in White Dwarf magazines, or clans with their wild gritty schemes or alternative paint jobs on Eldar craft worlds. Those images stuck with me. It wasn't just about looking different. Those colors shaped the entire feeling, the vibe of those worlds. The same goes for video games. When my favorite character had a different color scheme, it wasn't just a cosmetic tweak, it changed everything. I didn't follow a plan here. I used what felt right. Brushes, sponges, even mistakes. That's the point. In a world obsessed with outcomes, letting go of control can be deeply restorative. Like the Stoics said, you don't control events, only how you meet them. There's a beauty in not rushing, in noticing, in allowing mass and meaning to coexist. Plague Marines aren't new. They've been waiting on my shelf like a part of myself I forgot was still there. When things quieted down, I finally picked them up. Do we always need to be productive for something to have value? What if sometimes it's enough just to be? Some days this brush is the only thing that makes sense, not because it fixes anything, but because it meets me where I am. What if true peace comes not from achieving, but from embracing the process itself? For me, creating, tinkering, and making sense of the world through texture, that feels natural. Don't get me wrong. Of course I also love achieving, and it's truly the fuel that keeps me going. But isn't sometimes all that we seek a little order amidst chaos? How often do we feel the pressure to justify our time, to prove our worth by what we produce or accomplish? But could it be that some of the best things in life don't need a purpose? I wonder if, in the end, it's the things we do for no reason at all that save us. Could we find solace in what seems unnecessary, in the decay of these plague marines painted not to finish but to express? What if we stopped trying to control everything, and simply allowed ourselves to create without expectation? Have you ever wondered why we keep returning to something even when it feels like it's getting harder? Why do we do it even when the result feels distant or unclear? Maybe it's not about the finish line, maybe it's about something more essential, the act itself. On days when everything feels chaotic, I found that slowing down and returning to small, steady rituals like this, it helps me find my center. What if we could take that same pause in life's turbulence and just be present? What would happen if we allowed ourselves to begin again, not because we failed, but because we can? What if every mistake, every setback could simply be part of the process, not something to judge or fight against? Isn't it freeing to know that we always have the ability to start anew, no matter where we are? Some days, painting is my way of remembering that. Each brushstroke is a small decision to create, to grow, and to accept the imperfections that come along the way. How much freedom could we find in knowing that perfection isn't required to begin? Maybe, just maybe, there's something powerful about doing things not to impress, but to simply be. So if today feels heavy or you feel far from your goals, what if that's okay? Maybe just today it's enough to be here, to be present. You don't always need to fix yourself or be productive. Sometimes all you need is an hour, a brush, a bit of color. Maybe a few more hours to paint not for anything, but through something. Let your hobby hold you, even if the world doesn't. That's all this is. Thanks for watching. See you next time.